Sawyer Silver breaking, silver just hit a critical level. What happens next will shock investors. USA Bitcoin crypto market emergency update just in. We are seeing unprecedented movement across the global liquidity cascade right now, and if you are holding Bitcoin or any asset without watching this alert, you could be caught completely off guard. This is not a drill. This is not a rehearsal. This is a live market emergency broadcast. Alert, silver breakout confirmed. Just moments ago, the spot price of silver punched through the $32.40 resistance level that has held firm for nearly 11 months. Institutional algorithms are triggering by evidence as we speak. But here is what they are not telling you on mainstream financial television. The relationship between silver, the US dollar, and Bitcoin has just entered what veteran traders call a regime shift. And the last time we saw this exact pattern was October 2023, right before Bitcoin ripped from $27,000 to nearly $50,000 in less than 8 weeks. Shocking data just released. The CME tool is now pricing in a 68% probability of a rate cut by September. But that's old news. What's new, what is genuinely shocking, is that the Bank of Japan just intervened in their currency markets for the third time this month. You might be asking, why does that matter for my Bitcoin bag? Let me connect the dots for you live. When Japan defends the yen, they sell us treasuries. When they sell us treasuries, yields spike temporarily, and then institutional capital flees that and searches for hard asset. Silver is the canary. Bitcoin is the response. Emergency market update, whale alert. I want you to listen very carefully. Data from Arkham Intelligence just flagged a wallet that has been dormant since the collapse, over 18 months of silence, and that wallet just moved 4,200 Bitcoin to a new cold storage address. But here is the detail every other channel will miss. The transaction fee paid was 0.0008 BTC. That is not an exchange transfer. That is a private OTC settlement. Someone with deep pockets is preparing for something. And the timing, within 2 hours of silver breaking that critical level, is not a coincidence. What the Fed isn't saying. Behind closed doors, the Federal Reserve is watching the same charts you are. The M2 money supply has been quietly ticking higher for 4 consecutive months after the steepest contraction since the Great Depression. Liquidity is returning. The repo market is flashing warning signals again. And when the Fed is forced to pivot, not if, when, the first asset to move is silver. The second, Bitcoin. Historically, silver leads gold by about 2 weeks, and gold leads Bitcoin by about 10 days. We are now 6 days into that sequence. Do the math. Institutional movement confirmed. Just 20 minutes ago, MicroStrategy's executive chair posted a single Bitcoin block hash on social media with no caption. That might sound cryptic, but the last time he did that without explanation, the company announced a $600 million convertible note offering to buy more Bitcoin hours later. Coincidence? Possibly. But when you layer that on top of BlackRock's fund seeing its largest inflow in 3 weeks, $217 million, you start to see the machine moving. Here is what happens next. And this is the part that will genuinely shock you. If silver closes the weekly candle above $32.80, which is less than 1% from current levels, the 200-week moving average on the Bitcoin dollar pair becomes irrelevant. We revert to the pre-2021 correlation model where Bitcoin trades as a liquidity proxy, not a risk asset. That means every 8% move in the global M2 translates to roughly a 3.5% move in Bitcoin price within a window. Global M2 just expanded by 1.2% last month. That implies a potential 4.2% upside floor, not ceiling, floor, on Bitcoin from current levels. That puts us at approximately $72,000 as the new support zone, not resistance. But watch the trap. Here is where 90% of retail investors will get slaughtered. The same macro setup that pushes Bitcoin higher will trigger margin calls on overleveraged positions. Liquidity rotates into Bitcoin first, then a handful of majors, and finally, weeks later, into the speculative names. If you ape into right now based on this silver breakout, you will get wrecked. The smart money is rotating into Bitcoin spot and physical silver. That is the move. That has always been the move. Live chaos in the options market. Just reported open interest on Bitcoin पे $74,000 call options expiring in August exploded by 340% in the last 2 hours. Someone, or some entity, bought over 8,000 contracts at a strike that seemed absurd yesterday. Today, after this silver breakout, it looks prescient. Market makers are now those positions, which means they are forced to buy spot Bitcoin regardless of price direction. This is the gamma squeeze that nobody is talking about. The global dollar crack. While you were sleeping, Saudi Arabia announced they are considering settling all contracts in Chinese yuan for the first time since 1974. That story is just breaking. The system has survived every challenge for 50 years. But when you combine a rate cut narrative, surging silver, a Japanese yen intervention, and Saudi rumors, you get a perfect storm for hard asset. Bitcoin is the hardest of the hard assets because no central bank can print it, no government can freeze it at scale, and no Biden can stop it. Your window is closing. The volatility index for Bitcoin just dropped to 48, which sounds high, but it's the lowest it has been all year. Low vol before a macro breakout is historically the calm before the hurricane. The silver signal has fired. The whale movement is confirmed. The options market is screaming. The Fed is cornered. And the global reserve currency is showing cracks that no amount of financial engineering can repair. Emergency action steps. If you are watching this, here is what you do right now. First, ignore the noise on crypto Twitter. Second, watch the weekly silver close on Sunday at दोपहर के 5 बजे New York time. Third, do not panic sell if Bitcoin wicks down to $66,000, that is the liquidity grab before the move higher. Fourth, understand that the next 14 days will determine the entire trajectory for the second half of the year. The critical level has been hit. What happens next will separate the believers from the trist. And if you are still sitting on the sidelines, the train is leaving the station. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Right now. For more amazing videos like this, subscribe to our channel Sawyer Silver. Subscribe to Sawyer Silver for more USA Bitcoin breaking news and market update.